Welcome back to the Jets Lens pre-draft video series that we're doing with Anth from Gangrene UK. Anth, how you doing?
I'm good.
We're not quite bored of each other yet. We've got really into the weeds with this. If you haven't watched any of the previous ones, we're doing an in-depth look into the current situation with the Jets, with the current roster, and then how that's affected by the changes in coaching. Obviously, we've got a new defensive coordinator, we've got a new offensive coordinator. So there's a lot changing. Styles will be changing. So we're looking at the current roster and the potential of a little bit free agency, but mainly the draft of what we can potentially do as a franchise to change things up. We are done. First three videos, we completely completed the defense. There are no more worries on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to get like 400 interceptions next year. We've sorted it. It's fine. If you want to watch any of those videos, you can. They'll all be in the same section here on the Gangrene UK YouTube channel. But we are going to start talking offensive side of the ball from now. So, Anth, if you are ready to go offensive, we will jump straight into it. We're going to do two videos on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to do the first video, which is this one. We're going to be talking about the running backs and the tight ends and the offensive line. And then in the next video, the last video, we're going to do quarterbacks and wide receivers. We could do a whole nother video on how awesome Austin McNamara is, but we're just not going to bother with the special teams because it was so good. And it's kind of its own thing anyway. But yeah, so the two more videos, and this is the first of those. Where do we start, Anth, with running backs and tight ends? What's the best way to address this?
What we'll kind of do is, on this lens, the reason that we're doing all-line running backs and tight ends is to do with it's a question I've always had, and I've always wanted to bring this up on a video, but we've never done a video that it kind of fits. Where when we're watching games with people that maybe aren't as versed in football, and they go, oh, it's 11 personnel, it's 12 personnel, it's 22 personnel.
What does that mean?
And people are like, how can they have 22 personnel when they're only allowed 11 players? How can they have 12?
Yeah.
And it took me a long time. I'll be honest, I didn't learn until I'd probably been watching for 10 years. It just wasn't something that ever interested me. The minute I got into drafting, I was like, why do certain teams look for certain things? So the standard formation in football is 11 personnel.
Which is what?
The 11 means one running back, one tight end.
So the first number is what? The first number is running back, and the second number is the tight ends.
And then whatever's left in the 11 outside of, obviously, the quarterback and the 5 linemen
is receivers.
The wide receivers. So in 11,
if you've got 5 linemen and you've got a quarterback, that's 6. And and you're running 11 personnel, that's 1 running back and 1 tight end. You're going to have 3 receivers. Have I done my maths right? Wait, hang on. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 3 receivers. Yeah, for the 11 personnel.
I was like, that math is right, but when you said it, it sounded wrong.
Didn't sound right, did it?
I was like,
it didn't sound right. So you talk about, then we'll get into receivers and quarterbacks in the next video, but then you talk about an X, a Z, and a slot, and the different types of receiver.
Yeah, we'll cover all that in the next
That's
one.
the most common thing. But obviously then, if let's say, for example, I was going to do 2 running backs and 2 tight ends, that would be 22 personnel based on what you're saying. 22 personnel. But that would also mean, assuming I've got 5 offensive linemen and I've got a quarterback, that means I've only got 1 receiver.
Yes.
On the field. So that's why, and the rarest thing ever, of course, is 23 personnel, which is 2 running backs, 3 tight ends, and no receivers.
You say that's rare, right? But I did have a little Google, and I think it was done 3 times in the NFL last year.
What, with all teams, not just the Jets?
Like across the whole, and it was in red zone short yardage.
Yeah.
Where I think predominantly most of the time it's bloody Philadelphia.
The tush push.
Yeah.
We don't need these guys. It's not subtle what we're going to do. Okay.
Yeah, so you've got 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 10 personnel.
10 personnel being 1 running back, no tight ends.
Yeah.
In which case, let me quickly clarify. What does it mean? You hear this all the time when there's no running backs and they hear in the commentary an empty backfield.
Well, that's just empty personnel. Like
empty personnel.
Yeah. So
which makes the tight ends feel great because they're still there. They still exist.
The easiest way to check roughly what um, personnel are on the field is
Yeah.
how many running backs are in the backfield,
Yeah.
and then roughly how many wide receivers. Then because the tight ends often bunch in with the linemen
With the
anyway,
lineman.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very hard to see.
Yeah.
So you can kind of work that out really easily. Now,
Based on what you see behind and around the quarterback.
yeah,
Is because of course you've not just got running backs, you've got fullbacks as well, and who are part of the running back room, if you like, or seen that way certainly. So that's really helpful. That's really interesting. We will start because we're going to get through a lot in this video. We've got lots of different position groups, and the reason we're doing this is because largely these position groups within how the Jets are at the moment, most of them are sort of on the face of it at least not too bad. So it's
yes,
not like we've got loads of surgery to do in this area, but we'll get into it anyway, and we'll start with the running back. I'm hearing a rumor that we have a certain number 20 in our running back room. I can't remember his name, Brees something. He
yeah,
is,
yeah. I mean, is
yeah,
that pick that nobody wanted? Now,
yeah,
the one of the big things I will say just before we kind of go on to Brees
yeah.
is um, the addition of Frank Reich will mean that we might switch to a more 21 and 22 personnel.
Right. So more running backs on the field more often.
He does like a dual running back. Occasionally he does play 11 and 12s, but 21 is a favourite of his.
21 and 22. Um,
He is a
which in a funny way sort of makes you look at it and go, well, now the receiver room doesn't need to be as heavy because we're going to be running a lot of two running back options, and then maybe also you want to make sure you got running backs that can also catch the ball out of the backfield.
And that's exactly his thing. So when we think that, normally we'd go running back and a half back. I'm just saying that out loud just because obviously when we talk about um, our offensive players, we do have a fullback on the roster who is a free agent in Andrew Beck,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I can see getting re-signed. He's going to be the Kyle Juszczyk of the
Oh,
Jets for the
100%.
next couple of years.
It's such an important. They're so in a funny way. They're so rare. These like halfback, fullback kind of. And what they do is we talked about in the last video about the grunt work of the defensive interior guys in a 3-4, and they're guys that they're so what they do is so important. And they're massively undervalued a lot of times in terms of the actual contract value, but it's so important in terms of taking the pressure off the guys that are going to grab the headlines.
Yeah, and it's like they're a very nice safety blanket. Beck last year, he scored a couple of touchdowns, but he also blocked a lot, which we do like that. And I'll be honest, he's one of the only players I put through the lens solo on his own because I wanted to see how he fits. And believe it or not, he's a perfect fit for 21 personnel, and he's a perfect fit for 12 personnel. So he can do both. So it's one of those.
In the 12 personnel, he'd be the one.
He would be the one. He can do it.
Wow.
As a running back, as a guy who's going to get the ball and pound it.
Yep, just go.
You're probably only going to use him in a short yardage thing because he's not going to get you 20 or 30 yards.
Yeah.
So my thing straight off the bat is my fullback. I'm going to say the Jets are going to re-sign Andrew Beck.
And it's almost not worth debating because he's so important.
Yeah, he was brought in by these guys. They know what they want. Fine. We do have two other free agents on the line before we get to 20, which is Khalil Herbert, who kind of shone towards the end of the season, and then Keen and Wagwu. Yeah, we ain't getting that out of my mouth. We've established I'm terrible with
names. But he's done a lot of work on special teams. Would you say in Wangwu? Do you think sometimes with these young sort of prospect running backs, do you think they get given the special teams roles with a view to seeing how they do, and then eventually get promoted into more of a traditional running back role, or do you think with something like Keeney he's really going to be on special teams?
I'll be honest with you. He's only going to be on special teams, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's not a dig at him.
It's just his style of play.
Yeah. I mean, he's
It's you
going to
look. We saw
be.
it last year. We had some huge plays on specials by both Keenan Nwagwu and Williams as well. You know, we had some brilliant plays. We talked about Austin McNamara and how much we love him. So, but it is a separate conversation. So we're
But
just going to focus on the running backs. Khalil Herbert, you mentioned.
yeah, and
Um,
it's one of those, right? So this scheme doesn't call for a pure speed guy, which that's what Keane is.
mm,
He is awesome on special teams, but equally, I don't want to see Mechie if he stays. I don't want to see Brees. I don't want to see Isaiah Davis or Braylon Allen having to field runs if they don't have to.
yeah,
So keeping him as a number 4, I'm quite happy with that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he can just carve out his role as a returner,
yeah.
and he almost just becomes purely special teams, and we need him
You
in
need him because
dire
that's really
emergency.
important in terms of where you start your offense. If you've got a guy whose only job is to go right, we're not starting from the 20, we're starting from the 40. Do you know what I mean? Or
And
somewhere much higher up the field. It changes then the entire offensive plan where you are on the field.
yeah, I mean, we have got in this class, if we take in this group, sorry, if we re-sign everybody, we
Mm.
have 2 strong core players, we have 2 role players, and then we've got a fringe player special teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's without signing anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
That sounds solid.
yeah.
Now, Brees Hall, for me, it comes down to money.
Of course, as it
However,
always does, to be fair. But
yeah, however much I can see him being franchise tagged within the next 2 weeks, why they get a deal done. If they don't get a deal done, they trade him. Is that terrible? No, but it's expected. Running backs at the moment don't command the numbers that they want.
yeah, yeah. I
Now,
think that's changing a little bit.
uh,
Starting to the
it's
running
still a
backs are
throwing league.
starting to play a heavier role. I think in the last couple of years.
Now, I think there's certain running backs who are hybrids,
Mm.
like even Saquon to a degree.
Well, Derrick Henry as well is maybe less of a hybrid, but certainly his value to that
But
Ravens
he's a freak.
offense.
But he's a freak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's always the way. When Megatron was playing at wide receiver for the Lions, that's when, in my opinion, that's when the value of the wide receiver went up, because you see what a really elite wide receiver can do, and every other wide receiver then goes, "Hey, look, I could be that guy." And there's a little bit of that with running backs now when you've got Derrick Henry and their agents are coming into the negotiating table and going, "This is a potential, not necessarily style of play as Derrick Henry, but the
Yeah.
impact he could have on your offense."
So that on Brees Hall, right? He is an explosive lead running back.
Yeah.
Until Frank Reich was signed on, I thought we'd seen the last of Brees Hall.
Right.
Now,
Because of the fact that Wright plays a lot of 2-1 and 2-2
and
personnel.
he's the type of running back. I mean, he's got a Colts background, so he's got the Taylor kind of route. He's got Carolina. Like, everywhere he's been, they've been run heavy.
Yeah.
So we've got here, essentially, my notes on Brees, just with the way he fits this thing, is an elite zone runner, explosive in space, mismatch on receivers. Whoever you put him against, he's a mismatch because he's a unit. And he's best paired with a stabilizer.
Okay.
We're just
What do you mean by stabilizer?
We're now talking about switching to a 22.
Yeah.
21 personnel. So your stabilizer, right, would be a downhill hammer, perfect complement to Hall, inside zone, short yardage, really good in pass pro.
So is that possibly somebody, like, could you line up in a 2-1 for argument's sake with Brees Hall and my goodness, the fullback we talked about 10 seconds ago, Beck, thank you.
Beck,
I always want to call him
Beck
Becht, and I have to protect myself. I have to stop myself because, of course, Becht is a whole other human being. Beck, so you could have then Beck and Hall, and then essentially Beck's job is to create the lane and help create the lane, almost as an extra offensive lineman.
Equally, the second description that I give there is Braylon Allen.
Love Braylon Allen. Yeah.
So that there, if you're keeping both, our room is sorted.
Yeah.
And then we've got Isaiah Davis, who is a power depth running back. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
right? He is perfect for Aaron Glenn. He's perfect for Reich in the fact that
Yeah.
you can give him the ball 3 downs and just let him run. Even if he's
Yeah.
getting small yardage, he will run it. He will run it. He will run it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, having met Isaiah Davis in person, he is huge.
Massive. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he was bigger, like in stature than Quincy Williams, and Quincy's a linebacker.
Yeah.
Like he is a unit of a man.
Huge guy. But I mean, and it's all muscle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the difference being here is if Brees goes, Braylon can step in, Isaiah steps up. We're then looking for a number 3 back.
Right. So that's the key when we're approaching this lens.
Yes.
We're not going to be looking for a lead back. We're going to be looking for a guy that complements. We're not going to be looking to replace Brees Hall. We're looking to
maybe like a development player who is a threat in receiving but can run the ball well as well.
That's it. So let's briefly then let's just zone in on the running back. We'll get to tight ends and we'll get to the offensive line.
Yeah.
The running back in free agency. Is there anything that's going to do that job? Because again, we're not talking about backing up the Brinks truck. This isn't a home run pickup necessarily with our $80 million. This is a complement guy, right?
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, there's some big names in this free agency
who are going to demand big money.
Yeah, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Rico Dowdle, Rashad White, Kenneth Gainwell. These are
we're
all
not looking at any of those.
No.
Because they're the guys that somebody might turn around and say, "Oh, well, we need to replace Brees Hall." Well, we don't, right? We need to enhance the room.
The thing that I would say about Brees Hall, right? If Brees Hall wants to test open market, he is going up against all those guys.
Yeah.
Your Kareem Hunt, your Isaiah Pacheco's, your Michael Carter's.
So what he gets in free agent is going to be less.
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, contract negotiation with him.
His age helps him. I mean, if I do it where the youngest are at the top, Brees Hall is the second youngest guy available.
Yeah.
He's the same age as Kemian Vidal and Zonovan Knight. And
Zonovan Knight, we had him for a bit, didn't we, Zonovan Knight?
Bam. They came in the same year.
Yeah, that's right.
I really liked Bam. It was just he got took off the practice squad, and fair play. Yeah. He's contributed a little bit.
All right, so let's. I do want to talk briefly about the draft with running back because there is a certain co-host of mine on the HippoJets podcast, Mr. John Love, and whenever he sees anybody whose surname is Love in the draft, he gets very excited and he tries to concoct a way in which we end up drafting him. In his ideal world, we'd have Jordan Love at quarterback and we draft this guy out of Notre Dame coming
Jeremiah.
right now. Yeah, he'd probably have him. He'd probably take him over Fernando Mendoza if we were first overall, just because of his name. And listen, as a Notre Dame guy myself, I appreciate the quality of this guy. He is a quality running back, easily the best running back in this draft class. But we're not drafting him.
I don't think we're drafting him.
No.
But equally, there are 2 Notre Dame running backs in this class.
Oh, the second one is?
In the top 3 running backs in this draft, you've got Jadarian Price.
Yeah.
Who is an absolute speed demon.
Yeah.
He's a change of pace guy. He's really good in open lanes, things like that. Purely rotational.
Yeah, he's not necessarily what we need. He'd be the guy, if we were bringing him in, he'd be bringing him in if Brees Hall goes as the third guy to support Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's Jonah Coleman from Washington. I watch a lot of Washington. I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. Just a great player. He's probably one of the lowest risk options, I'll be honest. So with running backs, I always put a risk profile on it. And Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are both managed risks.
Okay.
Because the volume and what you're going to ask them to do.
Yeah. They might get injured.
Risk.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, because of what they're going to do at the combine, they could get injuries at the combine.
Yeah. And sometimes that's why these guys don't do the combine. I mean, the combine can do nothing for Jeremiah Love right now.
No,
Bear in
Jeremiah
mind,
Love is.
Notre Dame opted out of the postseason because of the way that was handled by college football, and everyone went, "Oh, Jeremiah Love's draft stock will drop." He's still a top 10 pick.
I'm like that. He's a top 10 player. He should not be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's we'll very quickly talk about those two guys you mentioned. What's there on your big board, Coleman? And as an Everton fan, I would love a player called Coleman to have on the back of my jersey, by the way. But what on your big board? Where are Coleman? Where's Coleman and the other running backs you've got? Is there anything? Because realistically, the Jets aren't spending a top first 2-round pick on a running back. 104 is about the, and even then we'd be like, we're getting a running back at 104.
Running back number 2 is 67.
So yeah, and is that Coleman?
That's Coleman.
Yeah, and that's really not in range. Again, might come up if we trade away from 33 or 44 and move back a little bit, and we like the value.
83. Price is 83.
83. Yeah. So again, not really in range for us.
No, and then you're going down to Singleton from Penn State at 114.
Yeah.
This running back class, again, if you're taking him in the 4th round, you're going to get a runner that has got low to manage risk. There's no high risk running backs in this thing. There's nobody who's had like 1 year of production. 80% of the running backs that I've got are depth pieces, occasional starters.
But like we said, we don't need a starter. If either way with Breece Hall, we don't need a starter. We need that depth piece.
Yeah,
so we might get it in free agency. We might get it in the draft. It's not going to be a thing that we're screaming and getting excited about. Sorry, John. We think Jeremiah Love might be off the table. You never know. You never know. The Jets might do something crazy.
I don't believe Jeremiah Love should be selected in the 1st round. I don't
John
think
would be furious with you. But if he's there at 33, you'd run the card up, right?
No.
Would you not? Wow.
Not with what we've got. It's one of those. This is another Breece Hall situation. Running back 1, unless a team is desperate, is not a 1st round pick because there is 4 running backs in this draft that according to this are going to be available in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
That are all immediate starters that can do something amazing.
Okay, let's because we've got to get a lot through in this video. Let's talk about tight ends.
So tight ends are the only position within our group that I haven't had to put the current players on the roster through a lens.
Through the Jets lens. Why is that?
Because we have got our 1 and 2.
Mason Taylor and Jeremy Ruckert. They re-upped Jeremy Ruckert, 2-3 months ago? Gave him a new contract. Mason Taylor was a 2nd round pick last year who did well as a second. Bear in mind, you've always got to put any player really on the Jets last year. You've always got to take with a pinch of salt how they did last year because the whole team was so bad last year and there were so many problems with the coaching underneath AG, with the coordinator coaching and stuff like that. So considering that, Mason Taylor had a good rookie year.
Mason Taylor had a solid season, right? And I would never take that away. And if anything, he's only done things last year that will help him with Frank Reich. Because Frank Reich has that kind of essence of the Bill Parcells tree, like Glenn, of toughness, blocking first, reliable, situational football, and he proved he could do all of that last year.
Yeah.
Mason Taylor was a great pickup. Love it.
Great. So Mason Taylor and Jeremy Ruckert are in the building. So we did talk a little bit about Reich running a lot more running back heavy personnel, and maybe that suggests there'll be less tight ends on the field, but there might be. So we still need to have more bodies.
No. So just because there's more running backs does not mean that the tight end will not see the action.
Yeah.
So Frank Reich likes to use tight ends as initial blocks and safety blankets.
Right.
So those out passes where things break down.
So that's something Rockett's really good at.
And if you're running 2 running backs, so you have Andrew Beck backing up Ruckert or Taylor, taking their man, and then he goes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that goes, we've got... So I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor or Ruckett and within the top 3 receivers on our team next year.
Yeah.
I would even say top 2 outside of Garrett.
Depending on what we do at wide receiver, which we'll get into in the next video.
Yeah.
I want people to watch the next video, Anth. Come on.
No, there's big things in the next video. And it's got quarterbacks in, so they're going to watch it anyway.
Well, they're going to watch it anyway. Yeah, they'll probably watch it before this one.
The tight end with us, right, is if we're looking at anybody in the draft in the later rounds or even at high rounds, a soft tight end isn't a big receiver. They're just a waste of space. Simple
that
enough.
should be on a t-shirt. That should be
I'm pretty sure it is, right? It's off a Bill Parcells quote for years ago.
Right.
There we go. To say, if you had a soft tight end who didn't block, then they're just a receiver, like a big receiver.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And he went, we don't need that. Like,
yeah. The most important job a tight end can do is block, really.
Yeah, if I needed a big wide receiver, I would get a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the fact that in this draft, the tight end list that I have is 19 players.
Okay. That's in the top 250.
In the top 250. 3 of the top 4 are all managed risk, the same as running backs, because obviously, again, it's another role that can carry injury. There are a lot of players that are just depth, which that's what we would be looking at.
What would we be looking at, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, the number 1 is Kerryon Sadiq from Oregon. Like,
he's a first-round pick, though, and we're not spending a first-round pick on him.
He is legit. He's an early. He's going to be a starter day 1. He's not Brock Bowers, but he's going to be good. He's not Trey McBride.
Someone's going to take him in the top 20 or 25 picks of this draft.
I would imagine so. Now, the first one that I go, kind of like this guy. I mean, he's probably going to be in the first 2 rounds. I'll be honest with you, Al. We're not looking at him, but it's Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt.
Right.
Because he made himself look good with that liability as a quarterback. He's such a high ceiling.
We'll get on to quarterbacks in the next video, Anth. We'll get your...
Yeah, that's why I didn't name him. He's such a high ceiling player. Like, he could be a superstar.
But again, not something we're looking at. We need to forget about the first 2 rounds. We are not taking a tight end anywhere before, realistically, 175. We're not taking one at 104 either, really.
This is true, right? So then, when we go into it, there is 3 that I like.
That are late guys.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, none of them stand out any more than the other because they're all inline Y tight ends.
Yeah. Which does that suit? Does that suit what Frank Reich wants or will want?
These guys are kind of like, they're like Ruckert and Taylor, but in the middle. They don't excel either way. They could, given the right training and coaching. Yeah. But the first one that I've got is Marlon Klein would be my go-to from Michigan.
I was looking at him as well.
Because QB-wise, he's a safety blanket. And he has every down utility, so he can play early downs and late downs, red zone, long plays. When I kind of look at him on the bigger board, which I will do right now.
I definitely drafted him in some mocks in those late rounds, so I know he's in that right sort of range for us.
Yeah, he's 189.
189, perfect, yeah.
Right. That would be a good replacement, I mean, for like the likes of Stone Smart.
Yeah.
And who's the other one that we've got? We've got Jalen Woods. Yeah. So that one is an option. The other 2 behind him, John M. Gillenborg. Love the name.
I'm sorry. One more time?
John M. Gillenborg.
Gillenborg. Okay.
Yeah.
Just looking him up
He's
now.
from Wyoming. Not ideal for the QB side of things, but you play him in the right run game blocking. He'd be really good. He's a good depth piece. I'm not upset by him, if you know what I mean. Then Tanner Atkin from Illinois, again inline Y, very neutral. He is only good if you play him in a down-to-down run block type thing.
Yeah.
Right, block for your running back, which in a 12
That's
or
what
an
you
11,
need.
that's
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
kind of needs.
So, would you go so far as to say it's likely that the Jets will spend one of their 5 late round picks on a tight end? Because there are options there. There's depth there. It's something we do need, but it's not like an early reach need. So it's likely with the number of picks we have there that one of them is gonna come
I
in the
wouldn't
building.
be shocked if they look at anybody on my lens from tight end 13 to maybe tight end 16.
Mm. Which is where these guys you just talked about fit.
Yeah, that's where they are. I mean,
Okay.
the next one on it is Lawson Lucky.
I'm sorry, Lawson Lucky.
Lawson Lucky, Luckie.
We
He's
should
from
just draft him for
Georgia.
the name.
I like him as a
Lawson Lucky.
rotational
What a
piece,
great
but
name. That is the best name I've heard this year. That's up there with, I mean, it's not Storm Duck, let's be clear.
yeah,
But that's a great name. Lawson Lucky. Where's he from?
Georgia.
So is it starting Georgia tight end?
I think he's a backup. I think.
Okay. All right. So, but with the name like that,
Yeah, I mean,
let's be honest, the one thing the Jets need, mate, is luck.
So he would be a late kind of option. He beats his man quite often at Georgia, but that's what Georgia players do. They play the line very well.
Yeah.
He is a bit more of a managed risk, like that.
But listen, when you're talking about drafting somebody north of 200,
yeah, absolutely.
all of it's almost into the realms of like, it's better than, and oftentimes contract-wise it's better to get somebody in the 6th or 7th round than pick them up as a UDFA.
Yeah, so
because you might pay less for
them. There are players there that would it shock me if they just took no, not at all. Do I think they'll take it? I'll be honest, I don't know. Because that all depends.
But north of 175,
yeah, I'm not against it. Like, I look at the players and, like you've heard me say, I like them. Do the Jets like them? That will come down to interviews. It will come down to combine. It'll come down to pro days. There's a lot of grass between now and the finish.
Well, look, I'm banging the drum for Lawson Lucky. I've decided. I've not seen any tape on the guy. I hadn't heard of him more than a minute ago, but I want him in a Jets uniform next season. Just the irony of having a jersey with Lucky on the back and Jets on the front. That would just be. Yeah,
I'll be honest, right? He would be a matchup tight end for us. We would only put him in against certain people.
Listen, you've already sold me, Anth. You don't need to tell me anymore. It doesn't need to be any good. Right, listen. Conscious of time. Let's talk about offensive line because a lot of position groups to get through in this one. But again, similarly with running back and tight end, it's not major surgery for the Jets on the offensive line. We've got two young, arguably the two best young offensive tackles in the NFL, and we've got the center position. So fascinating what happened last year because all of us went into the season and went, Joe Tippmann's our starting center, and then obviously AVT goes out. Tippmann switches over to guard and does brilliantly for all intents and purposes. And Josh Myers comes in at center, and then they give Josh Myers a new contract.
Well, did you ever think we'd be sat there going, hey, Jets all-line were pretty good last year?
Yeah.
Like, we've not said that since we had Nick and Brick.
Not for a long time. Yeah.
And I'm looking at it going, right, so yes, we have players that might need signing. We've got Max Mitchell, we've got Xavier Newman, who re-signing them as swing players, I'm all right with. It's not a lot of money. Do they do it? I don't know because
the thing about Newman is, and we both of us met Xavier Newman last year, and he's such an important personality. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a magnet, and he draws people towards him in terms of that, and that has value.
He's a very nice guy. And John Simpson, we met John.
John, yeah.
I mean,
a very important player for us.
I mean, Craig showed him the best spin move he's ever seen.
Is that before or after he broke the?
Well, that was the actual time when he spun it. John was the one who taught him to spin it. So I can see us re-signing John Simpson. I don't know what that looks like. John Simpson has expressed an interest in coming back.
Yeah.
The big thing is, what do you give AVT? Now, if we re-sign Breece Hall, which I'm all for doing. I just don't want to give him a massive bag.
Yeah, big payout. Yeah.
I would very highly incentivize him.
Mm.
AVT can be franchise tagged, which would be about 27 million for next year, which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's
we're not
guaranteed.
spending that on AVT.
Well, franchise tag him, and then you can trade him.
Is someone going to trade for a guy who's been injured 3 seasons out of the last 5?
Well, this is my thing. We all said this about Mekhi Becton. Then he went on and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, we didn't trade Mekhi Becton, did we? We
but we let him walk. So would we let AVT walk?
I see what you mean. Yeah,
like we know when AVT is on the field, he's a good player. I would re-sign him. I'll be honest,
but you wouldn't pay him 27 million.
No, I wouldn't. I don't want to franchise tag him. I would do that if I'm going to trade him. I would
try and re-sign him for what you can get him for. And the other thing is, the other interesting take on AVT is all of his injuries has come when he's been playing right guard. Right? Yeah. And when he's played left guard, he stayed relatively healthy.
Yeah, so he's going to be playing right guard.
Isn't that why John Simpson's going to play?
No, John Simpson plays left. I think AVT's injury came when he was covering
the other guard position. Say again?
I think AVT's injuries came when he was at tackle.
Right, okay.
But it's one of those. I would re-sign Simpson and Tucker. However, I would also be drafting.
As depth, not as a starter.
Depends who falls where. Because I'm not going to lie to you. If we're looking at guards, right, so I'm just going to change my list right now to guard. Guard only, no centre.
Yeah, we're not talking about tackles. Tackles are, but yeah. If we take a tackle anywhere in the draft, it'll be a very late guy. A little bit, we just talked about tight end.
Right, so I have 23 pure guards.
Pure guards that are in your top 250. That's quite high a number for guards.
Yep. And I've got 2 very, very strong and then a load of depth pieces.
Okay, so let's just focus on the 2 very, very strong ones.
Right, so I've got O-line 6, which is Emmanuel Perrion from Oregon.
Pregnon, yeah.
Is it Pregnon? Oh, yeah. You don't believe how small this font is in front of me, by the way, because I've got to get so much on these screens.
He's the one. So I tell you, I met you about a week, 10 days ago, and you showed me the makings of this, and he was the one that I'd seen that you'd highlighted, and I was like, you've got a guard there? And that's the only reason I sort of locked in on his name, was because then I've been researching him since. Emmanuel Pregnon, yeah.
And then I've got Chase
Bisontis, yeah.
Those guys are both starting guards, right? Awesome.
They're both second rounders as well, right? They're both. That's where they are, and we have 2 second rounders.
Yeah, and then there is a third round. I think he's going to... I'm going to check just because I don't want to give you the wrong information. I think he's going to be around about a third rounder.
Yeah.
His name's going to be...
While you're researching, this is what I'll say is that if the Jets drafted a guard in the second round, there'll be more than one Jets fan going, what are they doing? Why have they done that? Because our offensive line was good last year. But you're talking about these 2 guys that would make a difference and would make our O-line better right away as a second round pick. And if you can do that, make a good thing better, it's not a bad pick.
Yeah, so this guy would be at 145.
Okay, so he's if he's still there at 175, or if you get a pick, if you're trading back a little bit and you get a guy in the mid round pick, you might get it.
You'll be happy because it's an A&M boy. It's Armaj Reed Adams.
So I think that's A&M. So I think that's interesting because anything I see from Texas, anywhere in Texas, I always think AG, being a Texas boy, is going to be interested. Texas
I
Tech,
like it because A&M. He's one of the only true power guards outside of a notable mention that would be a very late round pickup for me. That would be Josh Thompson from LSU. He's terrible in pass protection. Terrible in pass protection.
Sounds
but he's
great.
Solid in everything else.
That's good. That's good. Great. Good. So look, this was a really good fun one because it's really nice to sit here as a Jets fan and go, we don't need a lot in these 3 position groups, particularly. So it's nice. It's not true of any of our other videos. All of our other videos are going to be going into a lot more depth about what's available. But it's nice to be able to say that we're bringing in a new offensive coordinator, and actually there's a lot in certain areas of the offense where it's not major surgery. It's just minor little tweaks here and there. So that's good. We have our usual thing. If you've watched the previous 3 videos, you will know you can write any name from free agency, from the draft, for this position group, obviously. Put it in the comments, and Anth will run it through the lens for you, and I'll let you know what his projection is. If there's a guy you keep taking in your mocks, or a guy that you think would be a really good fit, then Anth will do that for you. Or you can download the 291-page document yourself from the Jets from the Gangrene UK Facebook page. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All of this is for free. If you download it and it changes your life, maybe buy Anth a drink next time you see him. But that's it, because he's done the heavy lifting. It's been fascinating. We've got one more video, which is the next one. The last one, we're going to talk about wide receivers and a little inconsequential position called quarterback.
There's a couple of little quarterbacks in it, to be fair.
There's great. Okay. So, Anth, thank you very much once again.
Always a pleasure,
it's
mate.
always a pleasure, never a chore. And we will see you in our last video of the series, quarterbacks and wide receivers. Until then, JETS, guys.
Let's go.